Let's get these centered. There we go. All looking good. So today we are doing the ones, the aces. And what does it all mean? Well, as I always remind people, the aces are often misunderstood, I suppose. And they kind of are a bit of a duality because they are at the beginning of a cycle, they kind of linger on the past cycle. So it's a little bit of the 10 and it's a lot of the ace. It is the numerical value of 1. So it's usually, it can, depending how it's read, it will be read as very little in terms of like, how long will it be until I get married? If you get an ace, not very long because small amount. If am I going to get a huge check? No, you're going to get a little check because it's an ace. So that's the numerical side of it. And then they've got general meanings, but of course it all depends on how they are in a spread. This is not a spread. This is just the 4 cards. So the aces are new beginnings, as I've already mentioned. They're new cycles, ventures, ideas, goals, projects, all sorts of things. And it also depends on which one. Obviously, which ace you're looking at. They also represent ambition, the power or the lack of power, the drive, lack of drive, etc. They're somewhat competitive because it's something new, and I often look at the aces as the one. So it's almost like taking center stage because it's usually work that we need to do for ourselves. So there's that. They're also largely positive and optimistic, except for who appears relatively often in some of my readings. But generally, it's also about self-discovery, especially for that one. I don't know more about that just yet. Again, so the sort of negative aspects of the ace is that can be aggressive because it's me. So a little bit tyrannical if it's a negative kind of spread. I suppose one could even allude to a bit of jealousy sometimes, depending on the cards and how the reading comes out. It's also about going it alone. It's like, along with the 5, for example, there's a sense of like striking out and just doing it. Adventure. Adventure for one. It can also represent pride. Again, if it's a negative spread, is also the negative sides of the aces. Possibly instability because it's like, we've just started. It's like, where are we going? Get a map. That type of thing. It can also be a bit of lack of direction as well because it is new. Nobody's sure where this bus is going and how we, what are we going to see along the way. So there's that. It can also be a bit impatient. Some of my regular viewers know this. And sometimes I say, hold your horses. Okay, so those are the general attributes of the aces. So starting with the ace of clubs, the clubs are usually energetic cards. They are goals, so they can represent lethargic, or they also represent doing. They're doing cards in a way. So the ace of clubs is an initiative card. If you're going to initiate a new business, anything that you're going to sort of be brave and do, that often is the ace of clubs. There's kind of a restlessness about it. It's like because the clubs are so doing based, they want to do stuff. They want to get going. They want what's with all this planning? Let's just get started. So there's that. Again, so it simulates growth of business, that sort of thing. It's also a catalyst for new ideas, new paths of thought, developing new talents. Okay, that in combination with other cards can have that kind of meaning. Then we've got the Ace of Hearts. Everybody likes that one. It's like I think even if you don't know Cartomancy, there's a big heart. So everybody wants the Ace of Heart. However, it doesn't always mean what people want it to mean. So what people want it to mean usually is the start of a romantic relationship. Yeah, oh, lovey-dovey. So it can be that. It can also be the start of a very bad relationship in a way, depending where the position, if it's, for example, with that one, depending on the position. So there's that. Because it's a singular card. It's a one. It can represent a family member. So let's say you were having a dispute with a family member, okay, and there were dispute cards per se with the Ace of Hearts. It's not schizophrenic. It's simply saying that, well, you're having a dispute with this, with somebody that's very, very close to you, or like a family member. So it's not always all positive. You can also, because it kind of represents family members and new love and that kind of thing, it can represent in some readings an adoption or or fertility if you have it with the three, because the three represents fertility. So the two together, you might be getting a new kitty. He's upside down. There we go. No, he's not upside down anymore. So we focus. Yeah. So that's kind of it's I call it also the romance for one card, because it's when you need to work on yourself. That's the romance for one card. It's also expressing feelings of love as well. It's expressing of new love in a way. It can be joyfulness, thankfulness, happiness. And then there's another meaning for it. It represents a passion. So it's you paint or you play the piano or you whatever. There's a great passion is represented by the one. It's an overwhelming passion. It kind of goes on that me kind of thing. That there's a very overwhelming passion about that, which can be read in the cards. Could be being altruistic, helpful. And then it can also represent the home, because it kind of embraces the whole family unit kind of thing. So depending with the cards, for example, if you have it with a 4, it could represent the home, or a house per se. Okay. Now then we have the diamonds. Diamonds are also like relatively misunderstood. As I sometimes understand, even me, I sometimes look at them and it's like, why is this in a love spread, or why is this in this spread? So we kind of have to get to grips with what the cards mean as they are in a spread. So Ace of Diamonds, as I always say, diamonds are a girl's best friend. So this is again opportunities. So it's an opportunity for something. I tend to find that diamonds represent security and recognition. You'll see it as I explain some of the other cards as I go along. So ambition, starting something that requires usually hard work. Diamonds are generally a fair amount of hard work. Unless they're towards the end of the diamonds, then it represents the culmination of that hard work. Clubs also represent hard work, but this is more about goals, and diamonds are more about the security, the finances. So an Ace of Diamonds, for example, says that, for example, if it was in a romantic spread, that there's a lot of work. It's new. There's a lot of hard work, but it's going to pay off. It's a good new venture. It can also be uncomplicated. There's a kind of uncomplicatedness about the Ace of Diamonds. It's very practical. It can represent, for example, perhaps a payment, money, some exchange of some sort, or not even an exchange, more a receiving of a gift. So it can be seen as a financial gift in a way. Could be a letter as well, because a letter is a one-sided communications, whereas like online communications, which would be the 8, is it's backwards and forwards. A letter, for example, is a one-way communication. You get a letter in the post, or even an email could possibly be the Ace. because it's a one-sided communication, even though you can reply to it. So there's that as well. It can also mean engagements if it's combined, with like the two of hearts, diamonds, one diamond, two people. So there's that. Let me get to the least favorite, the least favorite and the one that comes out the most. The Ace of Spades. Now, spades are usually challenges. They're spiritual work. They are personal development, and the Ace of Spades is so different. It's overcoming something really difficult. It's beginning a new period, a new phase, and there's no easy way to put it. It's going to be a difficult, challenging phase. However, it doesn't say it's forever. It's just a phase, and a phase is as long as you make it. So if you go, oh, this is impossible, then it doesn't change, and you just get stuck in that cycle without ever going forward. So what it says is you need to be brave. You need to have great inner strength, overcome your challenges, your inner fears, even eliminating what doesn't work for you. So if you are having lots of negative thoughts, you may want to replace them with positive thoughts, which would be symbolized by the other cards. So it's kind of clearing out, moving on, but it's not an easy card by any stretch of the imagination. It's also a very spiritual card because it's very, very hard work that kind of will lead to a transformation, to huge changes, and even attaining wisdom. That's the path. As hard as it is, once you've followed it, you get some sort of wisdom out of it. So that's the carrot. That is the benefit of the hard work, is that you will eventually gain some sort of wisdom out of it. That's generally what we can hope for. It can also, because it's one, it means you need to make a decision. The two is also about making decisions, but the two is more about deciding between different things, where this is more of making a decision to actually do a thing, like start a new business. That is the new business. This is more like making that decision to start a new business or new romance or whatever. So the Ace of Spades represents the need to make the choice. It is a duality because it's a choice, but it's a choice between doing it or not doing it. Not a choice between two things, where the twos would be not making a choice between a few different options. Like, shall I go on holiday to one place or to the other place? That will be the two. This is, do I need to exit my comfort zones and do all the hard work? Yeah, that's your choice, to do it or not to do it. So those are the aces. Hope you enjoy that, and we'll continue on to the twos next time. Thank you for watching my little mini tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.